So just running through a couple of things with you. We've put this together for you so it makes it a little bit easier, and it will be online for the ones that aren't here tonight. So your first page actually has your map. So we're actually going down and starting at the Innovation Campus. Now this is not the university. This is actually the Innovation Campus. So you don't all turn up at the university because you'll be at the wrong place and I'll be leaving without you. So if you can make sure you do come to the Innovation Campus. When you get into Wollongong, you turn left where the Novotel is, and that takes you straight out to the Innovation Campus. So it's about probably 4 minutes or so out to the Innovation Campus, and you will see all of our paraphernalia as you turn in. So it'll be very easy to spot and go from there. We do have a bus for the ones that would like to leave from Sydney, which will be going from where we're going to be spending the night Saturday night. So down at Southern Districts, the bus will leave sharply at 5 o'clock. We did have a drama with the bus today. Our new China Motors bus that we've only had for a week has got a problem. It's not one of our brands, so I'm quite happy with that. So we've actually had to scrounge around to find a bus today, and we've actually had Viola, which has actually given us a free bus to get us down and back, so which is fantastic. So we've just been so blessed with so many people helping us, and it's been crazy. If they know, as the medical staff here, if you could understand how much people have given back for you to take us to the next millennium and new things being discovered, it's amazing. So okay, so once we've been at the Innovation Campus, we will have quite a lot of different press and photographers, etc. there. So just keep in mind that when we get there, tonight we're actually giving all of you your shirts. You both get 2 shirts. There's some water bottles, there's a poncho which you can put in your bag, which we won't be needing. So that will be there and available for you. When you get to Wollongong, we'll also be giving you a pack which has been donated by the Novotel, which will have a muesli bar in it, water and some fruit. So you can pop that straight into your bag, so that'll give you your nourishment for your first 4 hours. I do suggest that you bring some red frogs with you, or red snakes, which are fantastic for not only keeping your tummy. I don't think there's a medical reason, Peter, but it does something with them. We lived on them in Kokoda, and it just it kept your tummy feeling okay, and a bit of sugar at a time. So I don't know whether it's just in our minds, but it seemed to work with us. When we get up to, when we finish doing all the photography, etc., which will be on a really tight schedule because we don't want to get into Bundina very late. So we'll be having you on the bus. If you arrive at 6, we do want to get out sort of at 7 because it will take us about 25 minutes to get up to where we get off to start walking. So there is a reason that we're getting you out of bed early and getting you down there. It's just so we can make sure we don't come in the dark. Once we get to the top there, we actually take off from there. So there'll be more photography there because we have some dignitaries joining us up there. We have the head of St George Bank will be joining us there, and we also have the head of Optus, and we also have Mark Speakman, who isn't very well at the moment, so he's not starting in Wollongong. He's actually joining us there. Now, he is the Minister for all of the national parks, which Kane will be watching him dearly to make sure that nothing happens to him because it's his boss. So he will be joining us there and walking the whole day with us. If there is any problems at all, the first stop is 4 hours. So if you get to 4 hours and think you are struggling a little bit, or you need a breather, there is another 4 hours till the next break and 3 hours after that. So if you want to, if something happens, you can come out at that and come back in at the next 4 hours. So we can put you back in at that next break. We are also timing you, not to see who wins or anything like that. It's just making sure that we can actually cover off that we don't get there in the dark. So we want to be able to get down to Southern Districts in good timing, that we're not all staggered and there's people coming in at all different times, that we get you in and get you fed, because we've got another 11 hours the next day. So all the stops will have food, water, so you don't have to carry as much water as you think. There'll be extra water at each stop and extra food at each stop, and fruit and lollies, so you can stack yourself up with extra things if you wish. If you want something different to water, we do have a few different drinks that will be available, but I suggest if you've been training with certain drinks, I would take your own. So if you have goo or you have anything else that you like to have, don't just bring vodka, whatever you would like to drink on the way, please bring yourself if you've been training with it. I know quite a few people have been training correctly. A lot have been down to vision training, so please don't bring anything that you're not used to training with, because it will make you feel sick along the way. When we get to Bundeena, in case we are separated, we will be coming in there, and the ferries, we're contacting the ferries about 3/4 of an hour out, and they will meet us there. So the ferry is just for the walkers and their families. So if your families want to come down, they can join the ferry on the other end and come back over with us. The ferry company, Cronulla Ferries, is actually putting on cheese and biscuits and champagne for us, so that'll be well deserved once we get there. I might finish on that note and start talking about the next day once we've spoken to Kane, because we'll finish off this day, unless anyone's got any questions on the first day from me. No?
For the bus,
Yes?
it's leaving at 6.
Leaving at 5.
Leaving at 5, sorry.
Leaving at 5.
Smack bang.
Smack bang at 5. So if you can get there sort of even just 10 minutes before, so you're ready, you can leave all your clothes that you need for the next day on there, or in your cars if you're leaving them at Southern Districts. But please, if you're coming with us and you're staying the night, your pillow, etc., that you're going to be keeping, which I'll run through with you, please put that on the bus, and then it'll be safe for the day and you can pick it up that night. Okay? Kane, I'll hand it over to you, so probably take us through the park side of it, and about Mark coming with you and your responsibilities while you're there.
Thanks, Madeline. As I mentioned, so New South Wales National Parks and Wildlife Service is obviously responsible for Royal National Park, and the walking track you're going to walk on is the Royal Coast Walk. It's 26 kilometres along the east coast of Australia. On a normal day, let's be honest, the track is undulating, goes over a series of headlands. When it's dry, it's good to walk on, and when it's wet, it's not. So they're anticipating a couple of showers on Saturday, so just be prepared for that. You might start off in dry conditions and then finish the walk in wet conditions. Some of the things that you really need to be aware of: it's not an easy walk, and it's particularly not easy if you get injured through that walk. So we have a lot of people doing the walk and they twist their ankle and they continue to walk and they get fatigued very quickly, and it's when you're fatigued that's when you'll start making mistakes. And generally, if you're walking from Upford to Bundeena around Watamulla, people start tiring. It's getting late in the afternoon, you've had your lunch, you're getting fatigued. So there's some of the things you need to be wary of. The track is in pretty poor condition in some areas, and if it's wet, it's going to be slippery. So make sure it's not a race. Take your time. Be aware of your surroundings in terms of the track condition. Be aware of the cliffs. There are several unstable cliffs close to the track. I don't want people going up to the cliffs. And also be aware of some of the animals that may be a danger, particularly snakes on the track. So we do get people bitten by snakes that like to approach the snakes or pat the snake. The other thing is, so there's going to be myself as a ranger, and there's going to be another ranger walking with the group, and there's also Ian Wells. So we'll be spread out through the group, and we'll be making sure that no one gets lost. And that's, for a national parks perspective, we really don't want anyone getting lost. So it's not a race, so walk in a group if you can, or mingle, network, but just walk with a buddy. If you do get lost, the best thing I suggest is stop. Don't go any further, don't go back, just stop where you are. We'll realise there's someone missing in the party and we'll find you. And don't panic. You know, you're not in a remote park. You're on the east coast of Australia. You will be found.
Just probably in with that, Kane, we are going to have a pad that you'll step over. So from the moment you get into the park, because Kane's quite adamant, once you're in that park, you're also some of his responsibility. Once you walk out of that park, he's quite happy for you to walk down to the ferry, so he wants the pads as you actually walk out of that park. So Optus have been wonderful and supported us and given us that opportunity, so your families and friends can track you and they will know exactly where you are, so or approximately to a couple of kilometres. So you'll step over a pad and you'll actually be available online to see where you are. So we'll run through that as we go as well too. Just probably before Ian starts, talking of shoes, everyone's been asking about shoes. It's probably a little bit late to go and buy shoes at the moment unless you've got a job where you can walk around in them. They're not the prettiest shoes. I thought we'd bring you, this is what we've been walking in, which on the bottom, which are well worn, is really good for actually traction, because as Kane's mentioned, some of the track is, you do have to step like up a lot of hills and over rocks, etc. But they are great if you've got these. I've also got these other ones which have like tractor shoes on the bottom of them, which you can also get as well. They're more sort of lightweight and will cover off the terrain as well. You can also wear them on Sunday. But bring a couple of pairs of socks, because if it is going to rain, which it's not, but if it is going to rain, it's better if we have a couple of pairs of socks there if you are in your normal sand shoes, because you will get in some water at some particular time of the day. So at least then you can cover that off with an extra clean pair of socks. And we can go from there. If you do decide to get new shoes, make sure that you give us your old ones or keep them in your backpack so that we can at least change them over if something happens. But we'll run through looking after your feet as well.
Thank you, Madeline. Thanks. So, yeah, thanks, Madeline. I'm Ian Wells from Sydney Coast Walk. So I started Sydney Coast Walk 7 years ago to guide Royal National Park Coast Track. That was the whole reason for starting the business 7 years ago. Our business has evolved quite a bit from then, or since then, but it's, who's walked it? Put your hand up if you've walked this track. So less than half. You're going to love it. You're going to absolutely love it. It's stunningly beautiful. It's, it should be one of the absolute great walks of Australia, and it will be one day, but enjoy it, you know, like it's going to be hard. It's a long day. So when you get to the top of the hill, make sure you stop and enjoy it. That's what this is all about. Like, you're doing it for a great cause, but do it for yourself and enjoy those moments, because it is a long day. Your feet are going to really hurt by the end of it. So just make sure when you get to the top of the hill that you actually enjoy it. And at the top of the hill, I'll probably be standing there waiting to tell you a cool story anyway, because there's some fascinating history all through Royal that we'll talk about throughout the day. Just on shoes, at the moment, wear your most comfortable shoes. If you haven't bought hiking shoes, boots, whatever, wear your most comfortable shoes. Blisters are going to be your highest priority. Blisters will kill your day before anything else. We'll go into sprains in a minute, but blisters, that'll end your day. A sprain obviously ends your day, but blisters will come first. We'll get more blisters. You're going to blister. Most of you will blister. If you've got your most comfortable shoes on, they're bearable. If you've got brand new shoes on, you're going to blister in places you didn't even know you had skin, and that's not comfortable. Maybe didn't sound too well, but I won't use that one again. But no, yeah, so your most comfortable shoes. The first 4 hours once we get into Royal, pretty much, so Madeline broke it up into 4 hours, 4 hours and 3 hours. So 4 hours from Otford to Gary Beach. Most of that is downhill. You're along through beautiful dry sclerophyll, then you're down through palm jungle, it's an old literal rainforest, down along the beach, up and over a couple of headlands. So it's mostly downhill for the first 4 hours. The second 4, there is one hill you go over, maybe a couple, but the second 4 hours from Gary Beach, you'll stand on Gary Beach and you look north and you've got this 120 metre escarpment that you have to climb up. That's a tough climb, a really tough climb. They're redoing the track. We done in time for Saturday?
No, it's about half complete.
Is it? That's actually, that's impressive. So, Yeah, going up that is tough. And then it's a slow, steady downhill and up and over to Watamulla. So the first 4 hours sort of downhill with an up at the end. Second 4 straight up and then nice leisurely down and then up and over and then up to Watamulla. And from Watamulla to Bundeena, it's the flattest part, but you're going to be tired by then. And so, as Kane said before, fatigue, and if you get a sprain, if you roll your ankle, just tell one of us. Because a little rolled ankle, a little twisted ankle, by the end of Kane's 26, I reckon it's 30k, or 29 is what we measure it out at for the whole coast. We do a few little detours that we may or may not do, depending on how you're feeling. We want to show you the sights, you know. We want to show you those cool places off track that no one else knows about, that have... Yes. So on the day, if you're at the front, so I'll be at the front. If you're anywhere close to me, and I'll be walking at your pace, like this isn't a race, I'll be walking at your pace. So if we get to a spot, usually at the top of a hill or somewhere, say, look, who wants to come on this awesome little detour? These places aren't hashtagged yet, so see them now before they are. We won't hashtag them, I promise you. But if you want to see these awesome places, we'll show you them and tell you the stories behind them as well. But that will give you the rest of you a chance to have a break in the shade. Water, bring at least a litre because of the water stops, and you need to be able to reach it to drink it. If you can't access your water and you have to take your pack off to do it, you just won't drink it. And so you need to be able to access your water. I have like a Camelback, like a drinking bladder. They're amazing. If you have one, bring it. If you have to go through your wardrobe, mum or dad's, brothers, sons, daughters, whatever, Rello, ring them up now and go and get this drinking bladder. They're amazing. You just drink as you walk. You stay hydrated, and dehydration's a killer too, you know, so stay hydrated. So if you have one of those, anyone in your family or friends or anyone in your street has one, bring one. They're great. You need to be able to access your water. Snacks, I won't put it on, but basically you run a little straw, you've got a little blue hose out there and you drink as you walk. They're absolutely great inventions. If you want to run out and buy one, they're probably 30 or 40 bucks. But if you run, if you cycle, if you do any, or if you walk, if you become an avid walker after this, which is what we want, an avid park user, then go and get them. They're awesome. I use them to run. I use them to mountain bike. I use them when I'm hiking. I use them for everything. So good investment. Most of the coast was actually private land. It was freehold land before it was bequeathed to the nation, I guess, or the trustees before it was the government. But yeah, some fascinating stories out there, and we'll tell you the stories. It's a challenging walk. It will hurt. At some stage it will hurt. You're all doing it for a great cause, so you've all got that motivation, but just be prepared. Like, your feet and your legs are going to hurt. Take your time. Like, this is not a race. Take your time. As Kane mentioned, sprains, not too much, because you do need to finish it. But prepare yourself for an 11-hour walk, and you may do it in less than that. But take your time. Watch where you're going. Just watch where you're walking. If it is a bit slippery, that adds challenges, but just watch where you're going. Particularly late afternoon, we're all a bit tired, we're all a bit fatigued. That's when accidents happen. But watch where you're going, and that should avoid the little rolled ankles and things like that.
In your pack, we've got actually where you can go to the bathroom if you're that way inclined, so it can show you. But also please bring wet ones and a plastic bag, just so that we don't damage the park. So any garbage or anything you have, please put it in the plastic bag and take it with you. You can drop it off at the stops, but please don't leave it in the park. Okay, just covering off about the bags, I bought 2 to show you. Has anyone not got a bag yet? So if you haven't got a bag, there's 2. The smaller one, which is just normal, but when you're choosing a bag, just make sure it's done for me, the shorty. But always choose that it's connected here first, and make sure that that's covered off and that it's comfortable, and that you also have one across here, because it just takes any pressure off your back or your legs or anything like that. So it just actually evens out the balance of it's for a little shorty like me. This one is a smaller one which you can get away with easily, which you really won't need to carry a lot, but you will need a jacket that you can throw in. Make sure it's not a heavy jacket, because if dehydration is just as bad, so you've got to be careful of that as well. I'm going to pull out what I've got in that bag. I've just put in a few things that I use and that I've put in, so you might want to, if you don't have it, just come to me. There will be people with medical kits with everything that we probably won't need it, but it's better to be safe than sorry. So these are the poles. You want to take them through that?
Nice set of poles.
Yeah, I know. Brand new, babe. Brand new. These are as light as absolutely anything. And they can go in your backpack.
It's always good to get one up on
They are phenomenal.
So
Do they look clean to you? Because they look clean to me.
they haven't been used yet, all right? I'm not bringing the old ones. I can give them to someone whoever needs them. I've just walked the whole lot. Sorry, I'm in your face there. I've just walked the whole lot without poles, taking photos so that you guys could see what we were walking, and I had no dramas at all. But it is great to have when you're tired. So I've just thrown some in that they're there. You use them, don't you, all the time? You use them,
I'll
Kane?
be borrowing someone else.
So if you want them, you can, and then put them on eBay and sell them if you want, whatever you want to do. Because people that are true walkers will always buy this stuff because they're great. So you can go from there. What else have I got in that little backpack? Hope you don't pull out something really bad. Well, that's where it probably gets. I put Nurofen pads on. So if anyone gets pain anywhere, they're Nurofen ones that actually just come off, or you see your doctor, he might be able to do something for you. So, but these are great, especially if you're staying overnight. When we were in New Guinea, we used to take some anti-inflammatories and whack these on wherever your body was hurting. So the people that are doing the 2 days, they're just Nurofen pads which actually just send heat and Nurofen into your muscles or wherever you sore. We've got the blister packs, which we've got, which we use on your feet, but Manaj will take you through the rest of it. Water, obviously. And I just got some spray that was Pain Away, which I got because I've got bad knees. It's not when you're going up, it's when you're coming down, which you think would be harder. But Pain Away, I just found that it was helping with my knees. I don't know whether anyone else gets bad knees, but I get bad knees. Have I got anything else in
I think
there?
there's snacks in the top pocket. There might be something else.
I just also put in sun spray, which you've got, Gin. We've got some stuff for sun, which everyone will get. I also bought this, but if it's not going to be that hot, they're just really, you just put them in some water and then you just whack it around your neck, and it actually is freezing cold. So you used a lot of that sort of stuff when we were in New Guinea, didn't you, Chloe? So you used a pack on your whole chest and everything. But this goes round your neck and you can go from there. What else have I got? Aerogard, I put that in. Hopefully we won't get mozzies or anything, but it is getting warmer and hot, warmer and cold sort of thing. So I've put that in if you want it. If you don't want to bring it yourself, just know that I've always got it on me. And
Can I just jump in there? So going down through, particularly the palm jungle, the southern end, there's ticks throughout there. So I hate ticks. I don't get that many of them, but aerogard your feet or deep your feet and cover. So socks over, up and over, long pants is the best way to avoid them.
what about gaiters though?
Gaiters, yeah, they can still penetrate through gaiters. I wear gaiters for lots of things, more when I'm off track than on. This is all on track, by the way, so we are walking a track. Gaiters help, definitely. So, but yeah, if you're worried about ticks, definitely DEET or some form of repellent, and then socks over your long pants if you are wearing long pants, definitely, and gaiters if you're wearing them.
So we'll have most of this stuff. Don't freak out that I'm showing you a whole lot of things. It's just what's personally good for you while you're walking. If you feel that you would like those sort of things, they're there and available. If you don't, if you all of a sudden realise you're getting bitten, I will have it on the track. So you can do it at the stop, or you can just give me a yolla and you can use it from there.
Tea tree foot spray.
I did buy that. Well, I thought in case you got bitten by something, not a snake, that wouldn't help. So we got there. Manaj will take us through that, and he'll take you through the feet. No, okay, all right. So I think we'll introduce Manaj, who's our doctor in form. Thank you very much. There we go. We're just taping it so it'll be up there.
Okay. Hello, everyone. My name's Manoj Saxena. I'm from St George Hospital. I'm one of the doctors there, and there's a few of us from St George and Sutherland that are doing the walk, as well as a patient who's recovered, Chloe, who's just over there. So there's Nerida here and Peter Gonski at the back and Sue there. So I think on behalf of all of us, we're incredibly grateful to Madeline and her team, and also all of you for taking the interest and the time to raise money for a cause that we think is very important. And I think I just wanted to start by saying thank you to all of you for this fantastic effort that you're undertaking, particularly you, Madeline, and the team. That's fantastic. Okay, so Madeline asked me to talk about three things. She'd asked me to talk a little bit about feet, to talk about nutrition, and to talk about hydration. And we've covered some of that already with our other two people, and they probably know more than me, to be honest, because my knowledge is probably more theoretical about this. But we do have, I think I've get a great deal of comfort from the fact that we've got this very well planned, so we have people with local knowledge as well as information about what could happen to you, so that's all covered. We're also working with a couple of the nurses that I work with. Irena is very experienced in outback walking, mountaineering, camping, really off-road rugged stuff, so she's fully versed on snake bites, ticks, other things, as are our two colleagues here. So you're in good hands, and we put together a medical kit actually from the hospital that covers compression bandages and hydration solution, as well as stuff that you'll need in case you do get blisters. But it sounds like you've got that as well, so we've got plenty of equipment for all of that. So that's kind of general stuff about the day. In terms of nutrition, hydration and feet, like I said, we've covered a lot of it. I think with hydration, the stuff that I've read, it's important to keep well hydrated, but not too hydrated or under hydrated. And how do you get it right? I think about 1 litre or 2 every 4 hours, given the conditions that we're predicting. Maybe one of those litres with some electrolyte replacement in it, so kind of sugary electrolyte solutions that you can get from chemists. That might be good. Avoid soft drinks. I think you probably know all of that. The caffeine containing compounds, they're not good for this, but I think 1 to 2 litres probably every 4 hours over the first day, and probably the same on the second day. As far as nutrition, I think it's probably important that you carbohydrate load over the next 2 or 3 days. So maybe reduce the fat intake, but just try and eat, because that will impede you from eating carbohydrates, but perhaps carbohydrate load over the next 2 or 3 days. And of course, through the 2 walks. So you need to keep eating, I think, regularly. It's better to keep your energy levels up rather than to hit the wall, feel fatigued and try to replenish things. It's much better to be preventative. So eating snacks, sugary snacks, bars, cereals, nuts, that kind of thing is good for you during the walk, and a bit of loading over the next 2 or 3 days with carbohydrates, because your body actually doesn't store a lot of carbohydrate. It's got a fair amount of fat and a fair amount of protein, but your carbohydrate stores that you have are actually quite limited, and you'll run out of them quite quickly if you don't kind of replenish or load up before. I think the key thing really for walking is to have your toenails short, comfy shoes, and maybe a couple of pairs of socks. I think they're the key things. So that's nutrition, hydration and feet. That's really all I had to say about that. We've got everything in the packs to deal with snake bites or ticks or tools for all of you participating. Thank you, Madeline. I don't know if there's anything else.
To have a movie night, so we are having a movie night. They're one of our sponsors, so we're having it for them. It's for friends, family, just to enjoy each other's company. We've got a big screen that we'll be having there that will that Rob has organised, that we're having 2 movies. We'll have the kids' movie as soon as they get there at 6. They can have that, and there's different things from there for them, popcorn and fairy floss or whatever. So grandchildren, friends, family are all invited. A lot of you have actually bought your dinner online, so that will be available from Simone Loge, which is our caterer. She's doing beautiful boxes that have lovely food in it. Otherwise, we do have a barbecue, which will be be available that night. So don't feel that if you haven't invited someone or haven't let us know, just bring them along, because they will be able to get some food there and enjoy the evening. Southern Districts have given the whole premises for us as a donation, which is absolutely wonderful. They'll be manning the bar, so the bar will be going until we go to bed, which probably won't be very late. And we then go into an adults movie. St George Bank has given us bean bags and amazing. All sorts of things for us so we can enjoy the night. So come along and join us if you wish for dinner and a drink. And then if you are staying the night, we have 30 tents available, which will be all set up by volunteers. So you can sleep the night. If you haven't let us know you would like to sleep the night in our lovely little tents, you are more than welcome to let Simone know or myself, and we'll make sure that you've got one. The tents will be available to buy as well, so a great present for children or family or friends for Christmas. So we've got 30 of them that will be available, which we've got at a magnificent price, so we'll just be selling those off as well. The next morning the bus will leave at 7 to take us to Ridges. So Ridges have donated our breakfast, and Black Forest, thanks to Kimmy and her family, have donated all the meat and bacon, so they'll all be done there, so which is fantastic. Thanks, Kim. And we'll be down there to have brekkie, and then we'll take off about 7:45 and start walking. And now the walk that day is split up, so don't freak out. Your 11-hour day on Saturday, you won't be killed on Sunday unless you're a diehard, which I know a few of you are, that want to just keep walking. That's available, so you can keep walking. So otherwise you don't have to. You walk to Caringbah, and we have a chocolate shop that's going to do chocolate for us in the morning. So we've got chocolates and everything there. So if you want to stay a little bit longer, feel free. There'll be a Tynan bus behind you that'll pick you up and move you to the next spot. Once we leave there, we'll walk to Sutherland Hospital. They're having a display for us there, which will be nice and a little surprise for you when we get to there. And then if you want to stay, please feel free to stay, and the bus will take you on to the next stop. When we get to Westfield, they're putting on coffee and morning tea for us. So we wander in there. That will be all available to you, or you can keep walking. And then we'll join you all up. So we will be meeting as we're going along. Once we've finished there, we go to Hazelhurst, and this is going to be a beautiful experience. They have two artists that are going to have big, I'm not an art person, what do you call them? Canvases for us to actually paint on, and hopefully it'll look well enough that we can actually auction it off at our dinner. We've got Paul Gallen, the captain of Cronulla, bringing up the NRL trophy, so we're going to be able to have photos there. Luke Lewis is also coming, and he's made himself available for that day, and there'll be a few other little surprises that will be there for you. Once we're finished there, we walk through Tynan Motors, and you'll see some of our history. You walk down here, and we have some beautiful old Mercedes-Benz on display. The Mercedes-Benz Club is coming with old cars for us to have a look at. Then we walk down to Tribe, who have been wonderful to us with our training, and they're putting on lunch. And then just that little hike over the bridge, we might even have some lovely dogs from the RSPCA joining us, and we walk on to Brighton and onto the Novotel. Now, doesn't that sound easy? So the ones that aren't coming on day 2, I think you should get yourself there. If you get tired, make sure that you just jump in the bus and you join us all the way. So I think that part has finished it. What I'll do now is hand you over to Roxy, who will be doing all of our social media, and she'll take you through the car rally, a little bit of that, because none of you are going on that, but we'll explain about the social media side, that what you can do to help, you've got to get in the middle now, Rox, who will help us actually expose the people that have helped us, and expose the Michael Tynan Memorial Walk back to our friends and family and extended people, so that the name of the St George and Sutherland Medical Research will be known by not just us. It will expand out there into the Never Never Land through social media, which we really need. Just letting you know, this morning we were on radio down all through Wollongong, and yesterday we were on Wind Television, and we have other radio and TV stuff that we'll be finishing off over the next couple of days. We've been in the leader the last 6 weeks, half page and full page, and the social media has just gone off, thanks to my team and the team at St George. And the Illawarra, the Illawarra Mercury has been fantastic, actually, with their exposure. So I'll hand you over to Rox. She can just run you through a few things, if you don't mind, while you're walking. I know that you'll be sometimes a little bit puffed, but when you stop and see some of these views and experience the different things, she'll tell you what you can do with that. Do you want to come?
So just carry on from what Madeline said. on your last page of your booklet, it explains about hashtags and checking in and that sort of thing. So as Madeline said, along the walk, we've got to try and take as many photos as we can. And when you do so, if you upload them to social media, either Facebook or Instagram, I'm assuming most of you all have Facebook and that sort of thing.
If you don't get it.
But pretty much when you upload a photo, if you hashtag, on the last page there's the list of hashtags, some about the challenge and also the sponsors, so it can go back to them as well. And there's also another section about checking in. So if you want to check in anywhere along the way, saying anything about the challenge, that would also be great. And then we can also use the photos at the end to help with promotion. And we've also, as of today, had an app finalised. So that has been made available this afternoon. And from there it has 6 different sections. One of the main sections is that people, your family and friends, can actually track you along the way. So if you say you've started at the University of Wollongong at the Innovation Campus, and then you've gone to Otford to start the walk, they can see how far you are at what different time. There's also a rough estimate in your booklet as well that gives you a guide. But yeah.
Can you tell them how to do? Because you did mine, you downloaded mine, so you just tell them how to get onto that.
Well, I'm assuming most people would have a smartphone and know what an app is. But if not,
Does everyone have favoured that? Okay. If
Yeah.
you're not, just see Roxy afterwards and she can download it for you, which she did for me.
What's the app called?
Michael Tyner Memorial Challenge. So you just head to the App Store and type it in, and then click download. And then from there, you can also log in and access your active account as well, which is where you've registered for the challenge. And there's also a feed for photos and messages and notifications that pop up as well. And there's also a section for the map as well. And yeah.
Do you want to just give a little bit of a rundown of what you're doing? Roxy's actually leading the way. She's not walking, but she's leading the way with Jill Deering and another gentleman from the Enthusiast Club is actually doing our car rally. So just give a quick rundown of what they're doing, because they leave at 12.
So the car rally starts at 12 from the Innovation Campus as well, and it heads all through the Illawarra, then heads to the Lagoon after the Innovation Campus. From the Lagoon it goes down past the Novotel, past Tynan Motors and Wynn Stadium, and then down towards Port Kembla. And then from there it goes to the racecourse in Kembla Grange, and then we have a bit of a bet there, and there's champagne provided and beer as well. And then from there we head to the Australian Motor Life Museum, which is in Kembla Grange as well. We come back up over Seacliff Bridge and then towards the Apple Shack, where we do a taste test. And there's lots of little fun activities along the way. Then we head back up towards the Tramway Museum at Sutherland, and then to Hazelhurst as well, and then conclude the challenge at Southern Districts. And then there's a prize for whoever gets the most questions right, so there'll be a little question sheet along the way, and then everybody sort of tries to answer the questions at each stop.
So thanks, Roxy. You're great. The other thing that we've got going... She does need a clap. She's been unbelievable. We also have a paddle that is going from Wollongong Harbour as well. So they will be starting in Wollongong Harbour while we're walking, so we won't get to see it, unfortunately, but we will see them on the track. So while we're doing the track, the paddlers will come past us. So I think there's about 8 different crews that will be paddling past us into Port Hacking. So everyone pray, even if you're not Catholic, pray to somebody that we do have beautiful weather on Saturday so that the paddlers can come. If they don't, if it's really bad, they'll actually do it within the Port Hacking, and we'll go from there. They are meant to be meeting the ferry as we come, but it all depends on the wind, because they have to start early. So they're starting between 6 and 7. By the time they do the blessing of the fleet, then they get in and they get going. So if it is a good wind, they can do it within 4 hours. If it's a bad wind, it could take them 5 to 6 hours. So if anyone doesn't know what the outrigger canoes are, it's actually where you jump out of the boat and you're picked up by another boat and they swap over. So it's actually quite a hard discipline. That's why I'm not doing it, and there's only one of us out of the family, that's Brendan, who's crazy enough to do it, so he's doing that as well. I don't think we've missed anything. It happens that you can get out, but Kane has supplied us with keys to get in on the fire trails. We've checked the fire trails, made sure that we understand where they are. Kane has walkie-talkies back to head office, and we also have contacts back to the ambulance in case something happens. So, and we have the medical research team that are in cars, and we have a little minibus that will take them back to where they have to go. So I think we've probably covered everything off. I'll just introduce you to Peter, who is the CEO of St George and Sutherland Medical Research Team. I'd probably like to, before Pete says something, is just point you out of the medical research team that's here, and that is Virginia. And we have our other offside out the back there, hiding up there. And my team, which we have Roxy, as you know, Simone, and she's not here now, and then all of our committee members, if you'd like to hold up your hand, that have been working tirelessly. So Kimmy and Nick and Sam and Peter Gonski and Alex. So all of you, Robbie, sorry Robbie, you were hiding down there. But this obviously has been a bit of a mammoth event. It started in memory of our dad, to honour him after 50 hard years in business, and we're very proud of that we're now carrying on the business to the third generation. But in saying that, he would have never have wanted something just about him. He would be looking down at me going quite mad that his name is on everything, because he wouldn't be very impressed. But the main reason that we used his name and his history is because it opens so many doors to such wonderful people like yourselves. So I'm proud to call him my dad, and most people that have met him have always been proud to call him a friend. So I think that's why so many people have come out, that some people that aren't fit, aren't whatever, just want to be involved, and also because we're doing it for a wonderful cause. To let you know, while Dad was in hospital, they were the most amazing people I've ever met in all my life, and I would give them my right arm to say thank you. So, and Peter works for them as our CEO, so he can finish it off. And thank you very much.
Look, thanks to everybody here, but I want to thank Madeline in particular, because in a busy business, the business world that she works in, to take time out to organise this has been extraordinary. And I knew Michael, and I think most of you have either known Michael or have heard of Michael. His contribution to the Shire and beyond really is quite profound, and the tradition is continuing in this. And it's been a privilege to know the family in one way, and to be part of this, the foundation to be part of this. So I want to thank Madeline, Nick, Sam and Brendan, who's not here of course, for the help that the family continues to in their contribution to our community. And contributing to medical research is really special. And while you're out on that walk, there's two doctors, there's Peter and Manoj behind me. Do yourselves a favour and just spend some time with them, and ask them about research and what it means, so that it becomes real to you. This experience will be something you'll talk about forever. For as long you will make new friends. There'll be all sorts of things that happen, and I hope they're all very pleasant. I've done the walk. Not that walk, but I've done it in bits and pieces a long time ago, and I was privileged to be in some remarkable places. You're going to enjoy it no matter what the weather is. And to have Kane and Ian supporting you is fantastic, because when I did it, I got lost near Rodford, and that was a terrible experience. It was a long time ago. But this will create new friends, etc. But I urge you to talk to Manoj and to Peter, to ask them about research and what it means. It is not some ethereal thing. It is very real, and it's happening in your hospitals, and it makes an incredible difference. The foundation supports research. And a great story around research, because the other person you need to talk to, a great story about research, is Chloe. and I'm not going to tell her story. A lot of you will know her story. It's worth hearing it over and over again. She's one of the foundation heroes. She's a remarkable young woman in so many ways, and if you miss the opportunity to speak to Chloe, you're going to really miss something, because she's terrific. And that you've got 2 days to do it, and overnight. She walked Kokoda with Madeline and Kim and Manoj and anybody else. Did I miss somebody? That was an extraordinary 18 months after a horrific car crash. And she'd tell you that story. You've probably heard some of it, but coming from her, it's remarkable. She's a wonderful speaker, by the way. So, look, there's board members here. Another person to talk to is Tim Daly, who's on the board of the foundation. He's walking. Grab some time with him as well. He'll tell you about research. It's real. It's not just some scientist sitting over a test tube. And it's great to hear. And so remember that what you're doing is in memory of Michael, and he would be so proud that medical research is being supported. And you, as you relive your stories in years to come, you'll talk about your contribution. I guarantee you'll talk about your contribution to medical research. I've got to thank you, because the money that we raise will go directly to research, and some exciting things happening at the foundation, and we hope to give you a whole lot of new information in the coming months. Thanks a lot, Madeline. Thanks, Sam, Nick. Thanks, everybody. And thank all of you for participating and contributing to this. Thanks, guys.
Thanks so much, Pete. He's got an amazing team. It's fantastic. Just also too, if you're not walking the Sunday, if you do want to join us for a drink Sunday night, we are finishing up at the Novotel at Brighton. So if you'd like to do that, or if you have family that would like to meet us there. If not, on the 18th of November, we are having our black tie dinner in the city. If you're interested in coming to that, please let myself know, or one of my team, and we'll make sure that we sort you out. Thanks, everyone.
Look, and special thanks for supporting this event and supporting the foundation. Go to Optus, St George Bank. We need to thank the Illawarra Mercury, the St George and Sutherland Shire leader, the University of Wollongong that's just been right on top of this, and we thank them for that, for their support, and for St George Private Hospital. Thanks to all of them. They're great sponsors. Foundation really appreciates what they've done. Thank you.